Good day, everyone. I'm Dr. Yogi Triprasatyo, an assistant professor at UNC University. Currently, I'm an assistant professor at the International Bachelor Program in Engineering and also jointly appointed assistant professor in the Department of the Industrial Engineering and Management at UNC University in Taiwan. And today I'm going to share my presentation entitled Applied Cognitive and Macroergonomics for Sustainable Disaster Risk Reduction. So, this is the agenda of my presentation. I'm going to start with introduction, then I'm going to share about human factors and ergonomics. Basically, it's my field or my specialty. Okay, and then I'm going to share some of my experiences dealing with the applied cognitive ergonomics for sustainable disaster risk reduction, also applied macroergonomics for sustainable disaster risk reduction. So first of all, let me introduce myself to everyone. Okay, so, from my name, I think all of you kind of like know that basically I'm an Indonesian, and I was born and raised in a small city called Gresik. Okay, it's actually located in the northern part of Surabaya. So, yeah, but I've left Gresik since 2009, okay, after the high school. So it's been like 15 years, perhaps that, I don't really stay in Gresik for a quite long period. Okay. And then it was an honor for me that in September 2024, early September 2024, I had a chance to deliver some lectures in the Department of Industrial Engineering at the Brawijaya University as an adjunct professor. And I have a paper that's actually an output of this adjunct professor, already been published in the Q1 SEI Index Journal in the environmental development, and this is actually the output of one of the outputs of the program. So this is actually my background, everyone, and I'm very happy that I'm listed in the world's top 2% scientists in 2023 and also this year, 2024. My bachelor actually from industrial engineering. I graduated from University of Indonesia, and then but I also had a chance to visit Waseda University for 1 year. So I spent 3 years at UI, and then like 1 year at the Waseda University in Japan. Then I continued my study, my master degree, and also PhD at the National Taiwan University of Science and Technology in the industrial management department with the specialty in human factors and ergonomics. Then I had a chance to work in the Mapua University in the Philippines for 3 years and 9 months before going back to Taiwan. So yeah, I spent like almost 4 years actually in the Philippines. So many of my publications actually that I had many studies in the Philippines. So and after that, like right now, actually, I just started for almost 2 years, okay, in Taiwan. And this is my Scopus, and then another one. This is my Google Scholars up to today. Okay. And if you think that becoming a faculty that is like in the past, perhaps that you'll see some professors actually with the white hair and kind of like nerd, but I think the professors these days actually quite different. It's like with the brown hair and then like I do many things, in life. So, well, for those who would like to be professor in the future, you can also do the same thing. Hmm. And yeah, if you want to later on, if you have the Q&A, everyone, if you would like to ask directly to me, nowadays, you know what, we just use Instagram, you can just tag me at Yogi Triprasatya, like if you would like to ask some questions, then later on I will directly answer your questions. Okay. So, for the Sustainable Development Goals, everyone, basically, my studies mostly actually related with good health and well-being, climate action, and also for affordable and clean energy. So let's go to the second agenda, okay, about the human factors and ergonomics. Perhaps some of you who are not majoring in the industrial engineering, so perhaps this is actually the first time that you heard about what is actually human factors and ergonomics, okay? So basically, ergonomics or human factors. Okay, it's a scientific discipline that concerned with the understanding of interactions among humans and other elements in the side of the system. So basically, between human and all the things, human and the system. Okay, and then the goal is actually to optimize the human well-being. Human well-being is, well, of course, is about the health, about the money, and so on, and also the overall system performance. And basically, in human factors and ergonomics, we actually, it can be divided into three big domains. Actually, those dealing with the physical ergonomics, you talk about the human anatomy and physiology, biomechanics, postural analysis, anthropometrics, and so on. And the second domain is actually cognitive ergonomics, dealing with the human computer interaction, usability, about virtual reality, and so on. Okay. And then the third one is actually we call macroergonomics, actually between the human and also with the organization or with the social technical system. So, for example, if your job is actually not that ergo friendly in terms of the macroeconomics, it means that your job has the what, like the low salary, and then like the you have the turnover intention to change the job and so on. So yeah, basically we can split into three big domains. And today I'm going to focus with these two domains, okay? Cognitive ergonomics and also macroeconomics. So, let's talk about the disaster, everyone, because this is actually, uh, well, Taiwan, Philippines, Indonesia, all of these countries are in the ring of fire. So whether you like it or you dislike it, you have to deal with the natural disasters. So that's why actually I choose this direction as one of my research directions. Okay, so basically in the disaster management cycle, basically we can split into four big domains actually, or four big cycles. Okay, the first one actually we call it preparation. Then actually the event happens. Okay, then after that you have to deal with the response, then you recover, then you try to mitigate. This is usually like when you do the community service and so on. Then you have to prepare again, then the disaster will come again and again. For example, like earthquake, everyone. So, whether you like it or not, you have to face with the future earthquake, because basically, like if you are living in the ring of fire, you have to deal with it. So, and then, it happens. Then you have to do the emergency response. Then you recover. Then you try to mitigate again, and so on and so forth. Okay, this is actually like the one. Some of my studies that I've done in the Philippines. Okay, the big one earthquake is actually like the predicted. It's actually a predicted big earthquake that will strike directly Metro Manila. Okay, and then the one that actually the response here, for example, like the with the super typhoon Famco that happened in 2020, the end of 2021, and then for example like the Taal volcano eruption. This is actually volcanic, volcanic. How you call it? Yeah, well, this is a mountain actually in the middle of the lake, and then the peak of the, you can see this picture, okay? The peak of the mountain is actually a little bit above the surface, and it exploded in the early 2020, before the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, then you try to recover, like after that one, then you try to mitigate, then you have to prepare that it will happen again. So, well, as you know about this one, in on April 3rd, 2024, okay, so it was very devastating, okay, for Taiwan, especially in the eastern part of Taiwan, in the city of Hualien, okay, got struck by 7.4 magnitude earthquake, and this one is like the biggest in the last 25 years. And as you can see, this is the I think this is actually the most beautiful place in Taiwan for me. Okay, it's actually Taroko National Park, but now it's just still recovering up until 2030 perhaps. So no one actually visit this place anymore. And then as you can see here is like the landslide, and then is the it's quite scary actually, everyone. And it happened in the morning, actually 7:58. So I was sleeping, that time, and suddenly like everything was shaking in my room, and I just ran away, and not even run. It's like it was very difficult for me to run. So I was like like walk very slowly, almost crawl, like in order to just escape from the building. So this is actually my office, everyone, my own office, and then like as you can see, it's quite the it was crazy actually. Like my office is in the seventh floor, but I think I was quite lucky. Yeah, so if you compare with the other professor's room, it's quite scary. Okay, and then this is actually my laboratory. Glad that that time it's like none of my students actually were there, so I could not imagine, if they were there. So like that, well, it's quite scary. And in Taiwan, actually, not just about the earthquake, okay, but also the typhoon, okay. And this is quite scary. I was doing my PhD that time, okay. I got struck by the super typhoon level 5. Yeah, it's the name was Shoulder, I think, yeah. And then I was living in the 12th floor with my roommates, and then my even my window was blown away by the strong wind, so it was quite scary, everyone. And yeah, and of course, after the typhoon, usually it's like the flood and also landslide. And as you can see, this hotel is quite scary. Well, anyway, and this one happened in Indonesia, right? This is actually in the Semeru, not that far from Brawijaya University. So you know about this one. And when this actually happened in 2004, I was still in junior high school, first grade, that time. Yeah, this was like the one of the most devastated natural disasters in the world, and I think this is the worst one. Yeah, because for Indonesia itself, like the more than 200,000 fatalities. Okay, and then like it's just spread to the up until Madagascar. Okay, to South Africa. The tidal wave. Okay, so it was like pretty scary. Yeah. So when we talk about that, when we would like to do something with the community, everyone, of course, I had just have to start with what kind of natural disasters actually that happened in the past, in that community. So some of my study actually dealing with the earthquake, with the fire, with the volcano eruption. But fire in here is actually like well, some people actually exclude this one because this is like man-made, but the fire one can be also for the fire, the natural fire. That's also it could happen. So volcanic eruption, flood disaster, the typhoon. I have another one actually, landslide. Actually, everyone. And then, well, after that one, that's actually the topic. Okay. Then, when you see that one, you have to have a strong background in a theory about what kind of framework or what kind of like theory you would like to do for your service or for your community research. Okay. Then, after that one, you try to analyze, like the data, either with a questionnaire, then actually you would like to see how effective, your intervention. Okay, then let's see, your contribution. So let's go for the cognitive ergonomics, okay, the third agenda. So cognitive ergonomics actually dealing with a human and then with the mental process, perception, memory, reasoning, motor response. So basically it's like everything above your neck, you're dealing with that one. So we talk about the usability and then technology acceptance model. Perhaps that's actually that I would like to share for you. So one of my ex PhD students actually from Thailand, and then like he actually tried to do the analysis about the perceived usability of Thai Chana. Thai Chana is actually just like Peduli Lindungi in Indonesia, or like Stay Safe in the Philippines. So it's actually COVID-19 contact tracing. So the government actually already created it, but the how you call that, the goal of the human factors engineers, actually we would like to see how useful or like what kind of issue people dealing with this mobile application. So he tried to do that kind of that study. So it was quite strict, everyone. During that time, I was actually in Thailand for 6 months, so I really knew that how strict the Thai China protocol was. Okay, so in order for before leaving the building and entering the building, you have to scan, or otherwise, like you cannot do that. Okay, But later on, we figured it out that for the elderly, okay, it was quite difficult for them because they did not know how to use the mobile applications, or like how to download it or how to use it. So later on, actually, the government did an intervention that you can do it with a manual one, with a written one. So it was just quite fine for the elderly, okay, if you do not want to scan. So this is actually what we did for that study. Okay, so we actually tried to create a questionnaire that try to explain about the factors affecting the perceived usability towards the COVID-19 contact tracing Thai China. But we did that during the early COVID-19 Omicron period. So it was just like the end of 2021 and then January 2022, I think. Yeah. Hmm. And for my study, usually based on, I did usually what I did is was like we have the questionnaire data, and after that we combine with the machine learning algorithm, so with a structural equation modeling combined with the machine learning algorithm. And we split into two publications, of course. So basically, we would like to see which one actually affecting the perceived usability. And again, in order to, this one is the perceived usability, but in order to create a certain model, you cannot just like you do a community and do like the very shallow, like the not that good questionnaires kind of like, oh, is it useful? Yes or no? And that's all. And you think that that can answer your I don't know, the goal of your study. Usually for the undergraduate students, actually like that. But if you would like to go to the next level, okay, you have to build a questionnaire based on the theory, and then after that one, then you combine with some other methods and try to use the more sophisticated method to do the causal relationship among the factors. Okay, so here we use the protection motivation theory. It's like when you're afraid of something, then you actually feel afraid, you feel vulnerable, and you would like to do something. Then, because you feel afraid, you're gonna use this technology. So we use the technology acceptance model, ease of use, perceived usefulness, attitude toward using, intention, the real use, the real actual system use. Then the final one, we use the perceived usability, and this one I calculated using the system usability scale. Okay. So basically in here, actually, we did with the questionnaire, everyone. Then yeah, so this one actually like the model, but of course you can apply the machine learning algorithm to predict what factors actually will predict the perceived usability the most. Okay, so yeah, this is actually I did the deep learning, to predict that one. And well, yeah, you can actually read in the details, like the in my publication. So basically, this one, the final goal is actually the perceived usability, and I would like to test which factor actually will affect this one the most. Okay. Okay. And then the second one that I've done, actually, this one I did in the Philippines, okay, about the technology and the safety. So if you go to a community, I suggest all of you to create mobile application that's that quite useful for that community. Depends on what kind of the mobile application that you would like to do. For example, if there is already in the mobile application there, you can do the perceived usability. But if you do not have, then you have to make it even harder, or even like they have to face a harder challenge for that. You have to develop the software or like the mobile application. Then you also have to test about the perceived usability of that mobile application. This is what I've done, but this is actually in a small community, actually in the only in the school. Okay. So one of my master degree students that who graduated years ago. So in the university, we created a software to enhance the safety. How you call that? Yeah, the safety implementation in the school. So if you would see something that's quite not, how you call that, not safe, okay, you can take a picture and then like report it. So basically, as simple as that. Okay, that's the basic idea. And this is actually about the functional requirements and non-functional requirements, like for that one, the mobile application. Okay, so well, and this is the theory. Okay, again, when you after developing the software or the mobile application, then I would like to see whether it is useful or not. The same concept with my previous publication about Thai China, but that one actually created by the government. This one we created by ourselves. So we have the safety planning, safety training, effort expectancy, facilitating conditions, performance expectancy, social influence, then intention to use, then usage behavior. Then we would like to see, like the safety participation after, we create this software or this mobile application. So yeah, this is actually like I call that the design. Okay, so I just skip, this one. I just go through with that one. You can actually rate that, skim it, So yeah, this is an example of that, and then this is the dashboard. Then yeah, this is the result of the model, and then we create. We basically collected more than 200, okay, 200 students. So for you, if you would like to do this kind of study, I think you need a huge number of respondents. Usually more than 200. It's actually the minimum number of the respondents. Okay, everyone. Okay. So basically for the cognitive ergonomics, the case, software, the perceived usability. So that's actually like what I did. Okay. So what about for the macroergonomics? Macroergonomics in here actually about the human and the social technical system. Okay. So basically, if there is an issue, we would like to see how human perceive it, whether we agree or we disagree, or we feel scared or we'll feel vulnerable, and what we can do, for facing that issue. So in the Philippines, actually in the Southeast Asia, everyone, there is one nuclear power plant, and it was built in 1980 something, I think 1986 perhaps, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, in the Bataan, actually located in the Philippines, perhaps like 3 to 4 hours from Metro Manila. But after creating that one, actually, it's just deactivated. Okay, so you created that one, and then you basically until today, it's still well, it's just there, and then the Philippines did not even use it. Okay, but the Philippines actually facing like the one of the most expensive electricity bills in the world. Okay, so when you lack of electricity, there is a nuclear power plant there, but the people actually do not use it. But issue in Taiwan is the opposite. In Taiwan, everyone, we try to deactivate one by one the nuclear power plants. Okay, so it's kind of like the how you call that, issues that quite different, in the Philippines and after Taiwan. In the Philippines is like whether we would like to the acceptance of the public of the reopening Bataan nuclear power plant. Okay, so the same. My typical of my publications. If you have the issues, you do the questionnaire, and after that, you can actually try to use the machine learning. In here, I did the random forest classifier with the artificial neural network for predicting the acceptance of the reopening decommissioned nuclear power plant. Basically, questionnaire based study. So this one, when you know about nuclear, you feel perceived benefit and perceived risk. Okay, but if it is here, you can see like this is 0.5, this is 0.15. So the perceived benefit is actually 3 times more than the perceived risk. So people actually would like to see people see the benefit more than the risk. Okay, and after that you have the perceived behavior control, subjective norm attitude, and intention. And the final one is actually the public acceptance. Okay, this is the random forest classifier, and then like this is the deep learning neural network. Okay, so basically, this is actually how I did the study. And another one, for example, this one actually about the big one earthquake, everyone that I've mentioned before, how people actually prepare for the big one earthquake. And then yeah, what factors actually try to trigger the intention to prepare that. And I use the same theory, protection motivation theory, and the accident theory of the planned behavior. So Taiwan is actually here, Philippines is here, and Indonesia is here. Okay, so all of you like or dislike, welcome to the club. Okay, we are facing the same issues of the natural disasters. Okay, but of course, like we have different types of natural disasters. For example, in Taiwan, it's actually quite I don't know. Tsunami never happened in Taiwan, but um the earthquake kind of like wow, since April 2024, it was crazy, everyone. Yeah. So the big earthquake is it's actually predicted 7.2 and directly struck Metro Manila, okay, everyone. But Taiwan was struck 7.4, okay. But I would like to say we are quite lucky that only less than 20 people, I think, less than 20 people actually, the total of the fatalities in the whole country. Okay, so if you compare with the big earthquake that happened in Taiwan in the 25 years ago, okay, so it's like it really improved like quite significant. And this one, okay, understanding the big one, you feel vulnerable, you feel afraid, or you feel severe, okay, then actually it, those feelings will trigger you to have a, like the perceive subjective norm and attitude, and then you try to prepare it, okay. But another one that we added, actually, the media in here is actually quite important, everyone. So the media can be exaggerating, but it's also it is also it was found a good, how you call that, a good factor actually to enhance the intention to prepare for the big one earthquake. So yeah, it plays an important role. And of course, you have the same data. You can do the decision tree with random forest classifier and artificial neural network, like what I've done with the previous studies. Then last, like the this one actually, yeah, the Philippine nation was hit by the super typhoon Vamco. It was in the end of the 2021. So it was quite, like double combo for the Philippines during COVID. And then, they got struck, but level five. So yeah, the Philippines and Taiwan are, typhoon prone countries. Okay. And then I remember like the one of my students actually was rescued by the helicopter that they almost died slammed by the flash floods. Yeah, because for the typhoon, it's not like the not just the flying objects that that could hit you, but also um the flood, it's just so quick, and then it was no matter you are swimmer or not, it's just like water, keep coming, and then you don't know where to escape, and eventually you just slammed by the water and died. So basically that it was quite devastating. And then uh up, no matter you're poor or rich, you're facing the same thing. Okay, so and then after that one, like the some people actually even bought like the emergency boat, and they put that one under the ground of their house, so just in case that the like this kind of thing happen again in the future, that they could just use the emergency boat. Yeah, so and then yeah, the same thing. Okay, this one, a protection motivation theory with a theory of planned behavior, but we added the typhoon flood experience and knowledge. So if you have experience, you have knowledge, perhaps you feel severe, but at the same time, it will trigger you to have a strong attitude and intention to follow, and then you kind of like how to save it, or like how to save from it, and then you feel that it's effective. But there is another one, we call it geographical perspective. It means that like this, for those actually who are living not in the disaster prone areas, you mostly you will have the less feeling of the severity or the vulnerability. Well, of course, it depends, like on the place, where you are. And then um, I found it that geographical perspective, it affected the perceived severity and perceived vulnerability. Yeah. And another one, another model that you can do, okay, everyone, in the future, for the perceived preparedness of the typhoon, we can split it into three brick domains like this one, okay? So physical ergonomics, cognitive ergonomics, and macroergonomics. And I found it that the physical ergonomics actually will affect the most because, of course, after the typhoon, you lost everything, everyone. You lost the house, you don't have the food, you don't have the clothes and everything. So if you want to do intervention, okay, I found it that the physical ergonomics actually the one that they need the most, and followed by macroeconomics, because macroeconomics actually dealing with the human and social technical system, including the money. Okay, they need the money, everyone, of course, and they need the support from the government immediately. Okay, but of course, you feel stress, you really need the psychologist, perhaps, or psychiatrist after that one. But in here, I found it that 0.126, so it's like less than the physical ergonomics and macroeconomics.